Hello class, this is Tyler Maley, your instructor for beginning algebra this term, spring 2017. I wanted to make a video just to kind of walk you through all the different features of Canvas and MyMathLab that I think are going to be really important, and then talk about some things that we typically would on like a first day of class. So when you log into Canvas, this will be the home page that you see. So I just put a short title here, Welcome to Beginning Algebra Online, and I just gave you some directions on where to get started, because some students, maybe your first online class and you're not sure where to go. And I also put my contact information here, and I like to put that on the home page again because some students may have not taken an online class before, so maybe you can contact me without knowing a lot about Canvas. So the big parts in the course, there are some buttons here on the left, kind of like the course menu, and you won't see all of these. Some of them I have them hidden, and that's just because I don't want multiple paths in order to get to a particular assignment, because there might be some directions or something that I put in one path. So that's just a navigation. that I want to do. So if you click here on announcements, so it's grayed out currently because there aren't any announcements to show, but once I post an announcement in here, that will become available to you to click on. But this is how I communicate with the class. So my preference is I like to post announcements here rather than send out a group email. And depending on your Canvas settings, by default, you will automatically get an email when I post an announcement. So it's kind of twofold. You get the list of important class announcements here in Canvas, and then also it'll be in your inbox. So that's a neat feature, and I like to keep them all organized here for your convenience. And then underneath that is modules. So this is going to be a tab that you're going to use a lot. So the modules is where all of the course materials are going to be located. So I like to organize my classes by week. So I have a module for every week, and another characteristic that I like to do is with each week module, there's a week agenda. So I'll click on week 1 for you just to see what that looks like. So this opens up to the week agenda. So it tells you, when to have the assignments completed by, and then gives you kind of like a checklist of what to go through to meet that week's module. And then at the very end, I list the learning objectives for that module. So what are like the main important tasks that you're learning in that particular module. So it's just a really nice way to organize the material. And then before week 1, I have this getting started module that you'll have to have completed before you can go into the week 1 module. And that's really for student success. There's a lot of really good information in here that I want to make sure you're aware of before you just jump right into the week 1 module. So one thing about taking an online class is it's going to be really important that you read and watch the videos that I give you, because that's how you're absorbing the information, right? How you're going to class, if you will. So an online class doesn't take a lot of reading. So like if I click on the getting started agenda, so here for number 1, you're going to have this video here that I'm currently making. And then in step 2, you're going to be connecting your Canvas and your MyMathLab courses. So that was one item that you needed to purchase from the bookstore. So while I'm talking about that, let's go ahead and we can navigate to the eCampus bookstore. So if you go to mtc.ecampus.com, this is our new virtual bookstore that we partnered with starting this term. So we're hoping this will save our students a lot of costs in textbooks. So our previous bookstore was owned by Barnes & Noble, and they're known for having really high prices. So this was an alternative option that we'd found, and we estimated that we could save students a lot of money by using this. So hopefully it works out works out well. So if you click on order textbooks, so spring, and then we're in math, so MTH 1100, section 50, 51. So there's 2 online sections this term that I'm teaching, and they're both run the same way. So I'll just pick 50. So if we click on that, so these are the materials that I had put in the course. So here it says MyMathLab standalone access card, and then there's also the beginning intermediate algebra textbook. So I guess just kind of a note here is that you must absolutely have the MyMathLab access code, but I can also show you how you can get that just a little bit cheaper by buying directly through Pearson. And then the textbook, although it says required, the textbook, an ebook, actually comes as part of the MyMathLab access code. So you can get, you can view all the pages in the book through using MyMathLab. So it's really up to you if you're comfortable with having just an ebook only, or if you know that an ebook is probably not the best way for you to read the textbook, then certainly you can buy the textbook. And it looks like here you can rent the textbook for $11.50 or buy used for $37.89, right? So those are good, would be good options for you. I know this textbook brand new is pretty pricey. And if you have questions about the course materials, you can feel free to ask me. So then going back to the Canvas course, so this video will walk you through how to connect your MyMathLab and your Canvas account. And what it has you do is going on this MyLab and Mastery, you click on this tab, and there'll be some steps for you to link your accounts. So I've already done this for me, and I have some extra links here, instructor links that you won't have. But essentially, this is how you're going to get launched into MyMathLab. And also, I can sync your gradebook. So the assignments that you complete in MyMathLab, I have to manually do this, but I can, I try to do this maybe twice a day on most days. So usually in the morning or in the evening before I go to bed, I'll try to sync the gradebooks. So what that'll do is it'll pull all of your scores that you have in MyMathLab from that current time that I sync, and it'll pull it into Canvas, right? So one thing is, don't get worried if, like for example, let's say at the very moment I clicked, sync the gradebook, and you were working on a homework assignment. So like maybe in homework 1.3, you had, 18 out of 40 points. When I click sync, so Canvas is going to pull that score of 18 over to Canvas and put that in the gradebook. And then you can keep working on MyMathLab, and everyone should be able to get 100% in homework. You can, repeat problems until you get 100%. So once the student, reached 40 out of 40, then the next time I sync the gradebook, it'll pull that 40 over and replace it with the score of 18, right? So that last term, I had some students get worried about that, and don't worry, right? So if the score is in the MyMathLab gradebook, then there's no worry, because Canvas, all it's going to do is just pull whatever score is there and just pull it over and put that in for you the next time I sync the gradebooks, right? So rest assured, it's not an automated process, but it is a convenient process for you and for me, so we can put everything into Canvas and to kind of have a central hub to organize everything, because we won't be using MyMathLab for every assignment, right? Only for homework and quizzes. So what I highly recommend is that you log into Canvas once a day, and you check the announcements. Make sure there wasn't an announcement that you missed, and then also, you'll probably want to check in the modules, see if I posted anything new in there, and then go into the MyMathLab and Mastery, and then if you click, I personally think if you click this bottom one is the best option, because it doesn't limit you with anything, right? So for example, if I click the top one, you'll notice, if you're familiar with MyMathLab, it takes away all of the menu options on the left here. So it's literally just the assignments, right? And that's what it said, right? MyMathLab all assignments. So if you click this one, MyMathLab with Pearson eText Course Home. So if you open that up, then it will look like you just logged into MyMathLab, right? So everything is listed here. You have all the options on the left, and everything looks good to go, right? So this is the preferred way to get into MyMathLab. So then if you want to work on, homework assignments, then you can just click on homework and then click on the appropriate homework assignment, right? So if you want to work on, 1.2 to start with, and we can just pick a question. And then you'll notice some things here. So this menu here is just telling you what the problem is, and then this is where you input your answer. So there were some updates in MyMathLab that I was really excited about. Maybe happened about a year ago. I had done some work for Pearson and gave them some feedback of some features that I think they should change. And I don't know if it was only me. It was probably multiple instructors that were telling some features that they could improve on. And the one improvement is being able to like zoom in on the text. So before, when you would zoom in, the text would not change in size. So if you zoom in on your browser, so the easiest shortcut way is to hold down Control and hit the plus button on your keyboard. If you're using a desktop or like a laptop, then we can zoom in and notice the text gets larger. So the reason why this was an issue, at least for some people before, is that like the addition sign and the division sign, with the text being so small, sometimes it was kind of hard to differentiate between the two, and there were a couple other instances. So that's one nice feature that you could know about. And if you're doing this from like a tablet, or I wouldn't recommend this, but if you're trying to do this from like your smartphone, you can just use your thumb and index finger motion to zoom in and zoom out. That will work as well. Or like I have a touchscreen laptop, so you could do anything with touchscreen, you could do a similar way. So then, so notice when I clicked in this answer box, there were some buttons that appeared here below, and these are buttons to help you input your answer. So we have some symbols here. If you want to input a fraction or a superscript, or if you want to put in an ordered pair, or if you don't see what you want to input here, if it's not listed here, and this changes by problem. So typically, all the buttons you'll need will be listed, but if for some reason it's not, you can click the More tab, and it will give you some more options. So for example, if you wanted, like the pi symbol, or a radical, right, an exponent here, absolute value. So there are a number of options here that we can use to import our answer. So that's real beneficial to you. I just need to make a note. So another thing I want to show you in Canvas is how to use the math editor tool in Canvas. So let me make a note of that, and I'll go back into Canvas and show you that after we finished these items in MyMathLab. All right. So here we're asked to insert less than, greater than, or equal sign in the space provided to make the statement true, right? So I'm going to get this problem wrong on purpose. So I'm going to say they're equal, right? So I can hit equal sign on my keyboard, or by clicking in the box, right? I could have picked the option down here. So then I would go here to check answer, and it says, sorry, that's not correct. That you didn't get the right answer, and it gives you a hint here on how to help assist you to get to the right answer. Right. So let me get a problem wrong again. So I'm going to say that it's greater than, which is false, right? So now it's telling me sorry, answer is not correct, and then now it's telling me the correct answer and the last answer that I put in, right? So then it has some options here. I can go in and hit similar question. So now it gives me another problem that's similar. But if I get this problem right, it will replace the score for that problem, right? So that's what I was meaning by every student should and can get 100% on their homework, right? Now there are due dates in this class for homework, and you can't change your homework score after that date. Now you can go in and view your homework problems like the study for your quiz or your exam, even if you didn't complete the homework at all, but you can't change your score after the date, right? So it's real important that you're staying on track. So one thing you'll notice when we look at the syllabus is I have all of the assignments due on Sunday at midnight, right? Or I put in 11:59 p.m., right? So you'll be given a week's worth of material, and it's all due on Sunday at midnight. Okay. All right, so let me get this problem right. So 7 is less than 9, right? So we'll just type that in, and it says good job, right? So I'll give you some positive feedback, and you can hit next question, and it will take you to the next question, right? And you can also click here and jump around, right? So like if you want to work on problem number 7 or want to jump around, you can do that. Another feature here is if you click on the question help, it pulls down some options to help you with particular problems, right? So you can do the help me solve this. So the help me solve this will open up a window, and it will literally walk you through how to solve that particular question, right? So since it asks you, or since it helps you solve the exact question that you're working on, after you exit out of this, it will change a problem, right? So I don't know if you noticed, but this was 12 and now it says 3. So the problem changes after you get out of that window, right? Which makes sense because it helped you solve that. So a lot of students typically choose not to do help me solve this. They like to do view an example. So view an example will do a similar example to the problem we were working on, not the exact one, but then your problem doesn't change, right? So if you needed some guidance, you could look at this and do some reading and then apply what you learned to the particular problem you're working on. And also another cool tool is you can do video. So if you click on video, it'll pop up a video of the author solving a similar problem to this one.
We are taking a sentence and we're translating it to.
So you can watch that on your own time if you want. But so this is Elaine Martin-Gay, the textbook author, and that's really how she got started in textbook publishing. What she's known for is she's done a lot of videos, right? Like a lot of authors don't take the time, or for whatever reason they just don't complete like tons and tons of videos. And Elaine Martin-Gay is one of the nice developmental math authors that does does a lot of videos and does her own. Because some authors, they'll have someone else do their videos and pay them. So it's kind of a neat feature. And then you can also click on textbook. So by clicking on the textbook link within the homework, it'll launch the section 1.2 in the textbook. All right. So we have this here. So notice 1.2 symbols and sets of numbers, right? Another thing to notice is here, right by the red X. So the red X tells me I currently have the problem wrong, right? Because I opened the problem and I haven't submitted the correct answer. And then this 1.2.7, what this tells me is the first number here, 1, means that's from chapter 1. The 2 tells me I'm in section 2. And then this tells you the problem number. So if I go back into my e-text and I go to the homework pages, oops. Well, it looks like we're a little limited. It's only showing you 1.2 and nothing more. So let me X out of this, and I will pull. So I'll show you how to find the textbook, and I'll show you what I was talking about. So to find the ebook, you click on a multimedia library, and then we were doing chapter 1, section 2, and then we want the multimedia textbook, right? So I'll open that. You just click here. So this will be the full textbook, and I won't be limited on that. So we have, so again, as I was saying, Chapter 1, Section 2, Problem 2.7. So if I go to the homework problem, and there's a table of contents here on the left, and that can help you, jump through the e-textbook pretty quickly. So I can go to, so I just made this menu longer for Chapter 1, and then we were in 1.2, so notice this is 1.2 exercise set. So if I click on that, it'll be all the problems. So we want problem 27. So here is problem 27, and so it's a similar problem to this. So the problems in MyMathLab are based off the problems in the book. So if you ever are wanting, to find similar problems to work on in the book, that's how you can do that, right? Or if you're studying for the exam or whatnot. So then some other features with the question help, you can print the particular problem out. You can print the whole homework out. So maybe you have to work and you're not allowed to have computer access, but if you have some downtime, you're allowed to work on homework. So you could print out your entire homework assignment and then work on it that way and print it out and then submit it later on. And then you can also click Ask My Instructor. So what the Ask My Instructor button does is you can send me an email. And it will contain a link to get me to the exact problem that you're working on, right? So one thing I guess I should tell you is everything that you can see in MyMathLab, I can also see. So I can see, that you did your homework at 2 a.m. on Sunday, or I can see any of that, and I can see how much time you spent on every assignment. So what this does, it provides me with a direct link to the exact question you're working on. So you don't have to tell me about the problem, what the problem says. So you're able just to go in here and say, hi, hi Tyler, I'm really having trouble with this question. I forget, and you can, give me some details of what your misconceptions are. And what your question is about the question, and then I can help point you on the right track, right? So that's a feature that you can use. Yeah. So that's probably about all that I think I need to show you with at least in the homework. Just a note though that when you're taking a quiz or an exam, you don't have this question to help button, for obvious reasons. So, just don't rely on that too heavily. So, I wouldn't rely on the view an example too heavily. If you use that tool, it's probably good practice to try the problem a few times on your own without using that. So that way it kind of sinks in and you get a better understanding for what to do and whatnot. All right. So then, while I have the e-text open, there are some other features I wanted to show you in the e-text. So if you notice, here in the book, there's this green play button. So the textbook is interactive. So the green play button launches videos or multimedia. So if I click that play button beside that particular problem,
so let's practice forming mathematical.
It's actually giving me a video to solve that exact problem that we were working on, right? So notice it's the exact same. So we're inserting the symbol for 7 and 3, right? So the reason why that's really cool is when you're studying for Chapter 1 quiz or a midterm, this is the place to go to study. At the end of every chapter there are chapter highlights. So the chapter highlights go through vocabulary check. It breaks down every section. So section 1.2, symbols and sets of numbers. It breaks down important terms here on the left. It gives you examples on the right. So this is a great place to study and review. Then there's also a chapter 1 review. Right, so there are review problems, and then there's the chapter 1 test. And the chapter 1 test, all of the problems are solved out for you. You can click on the green icon again, and it will launch a problem or launch a video solving that exact problem. So every single problem here in the chapter 1 test is solved for you. So So it should be, this should be, the place to go to study for the exams. So like midterm 1 covers chapters 1, 2, and 3, right? So that's where you'd want to go, right? So like in chapter 2, same thing, right? So if I go to the end of the chapter, I have the chapter 2 highlights. I can do the chapter 2 review, and then also the chapter 2 test, right, with these green play buttons, right? All right, so let's go ahead and exit out of this. And we don't need this anymore, or this. All right, so let's go into module 1, week 1. So in week 1, you're essentially going to complete chapter 1 in the textbook, and then also you're going to do this another section that's not actually in the textbook called like basic statistics. So essentially what you're going to look at is what mean, meaning, and mode is, how to draw a tree diagram, and then how to calculate basic probability, and then also how to calculate GPA, right? So for the statistics section, I found videos on YouTube here that cover that content, right? So here the first one's on mean, meaning, and mode, and then I have 2 different ones to help you understand tree diagrams, and this video also talks about probability, and then there's this video here about how to calculate GPA that I felt was pretty good. And then there are also these links here as PDFs that are supplement to the textbook. So like here, if I click on section 8.5, this will launch a PDF. So this is from an old Elaine Martin Gay book that we got permission from Pearson to include this. So this 8.5, you can see here the objectives are about the mean, meaning, and mode. So this will walk you through how to do that, and then also how to find GPA, which is a type of mean, right? It's a weighted average. So you can, it's basically textbook pages for you. And then there are exercise sets at the end of every section. And then I also included this last PDF, which are the solutions, right? So this is the solutions for 8.5 and 8.6. So you can, read through those just like, you have the textbook. So 8.6 is dealing with a tree diagram, and then also finding just some basic probability. So nothing too crazy there. All right. So then another thing that I wanted to talk to you about, here in number 3, it says read the textbook section, watch the section video lectures, and complete the homework in MyMathLab for the following sections. So for your convenience, I posted a link here that will launch a PDF of the video notes. So the author also made section video lectures for every section. So she essentially taught the content in the book and posted videos. And these are really nice notes to have to as you're watching the video to jot some things down. So, and she tells you some, notation here that she gives you symbols when she wants you to pause the video and then when to push play and continue on. So for, example, like here are some terms. So as that term shows on your screen, she's telling you might want to pause that and write those down here. And then there are some examples here to work with her. And then she will have some for you to try on your own. So like here it says, now press pause, and then you work it out on your own, and then push play to check your work, right, to see if you got it right. So it's a little interactive in that sense, so that way, you can be able to pause the video and try it on your own to see how much of the knowledge you're retaining. So I think she does a really nice job with the video notes and the videos, right? So I will give you the link whenever we start a new chapter, but you can also find those in MyMathLab by clicking on the video organizer. So so here is listed for all of the chapters, so you can print those out as you wish. And then how you find the videos is you go into the multimedia library, and here you can filter for what you want. So let's just do 1.2. So I'll just click select all. So this gives me all the resources for 1.2. So there's a couple animations. There's the multimedia textbook, which I showed you on how to find the textbook. And there's test prep videos here. So kind of like a review. You can watch that. Before you take the chapter 1 quiz, if you wanted, for example. There's also here a PowerPoint. So if you click on that, it'll pop up a PowerPoint over the section. So that can be kind of nice, as another source and notes, if you will. Give you some more examples. Right, so it gives, important definitions on slides. It gives you problems. So that might be, something worthwhile as well to look at. And then main thing I wanted to highlight here was the section video lectures. So notice here there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 videos posted here for this one section. And the reason being is the very first video, this video is the full video that has everything in it. And then the author breaks each section into objectives, and this section just happened to have 4 objectives. So, let's say you were having trouble with finding the absolute value of a real number. You could just click on this, and it will put you to, the right spot in the full video. So that way you don't have to watch the whole thing or try to find it. So it's really your convenience. So when I tell you to watch the section video lectures, you're going to want to click on the top link that doesn't have like an objective beside it at all. And then just push play. And then that will walk you through the full video, and then you can fill in the notes as you're going along. So this first video is about a little over 15 minutes, it looks like. Right, so this is going to be a good place for you to find the lecture material. All right. So I want to go back into Canvas, and I'll go ahead and click on the week 1 Canvas discussion. So there's actually 2 Canvas discussions that I posted in this week. One of them is just course introductions, and then I did post a week 1 discussion question that's from chapter 1 in MyMathLab. So I just want to show you, to respond to my question. Notice I clicked reply. So you're going to want to click reply underneath my post. If you click reply under a student's post, then you're responding to them, right? So responding to a student is fine, but if you're responding to my question, then you should click reply on me. And then if you want to say something to another student like, hey, how did you get this? Or I didn't quite agree with your answer. How did you look at this type of thing? You can interact, and that's really what I want is you interacting with the other students in the class. So it's a really neat tool. But so what I wanted to highlight here is when I click click in this box. For example, there's a pi symbol that you need. So what you can do is this button here, it says insert math equation. If you click on this, it opens up a nice entry point for you to input answers. So this basic one just gives you certain tools, like basically like what you would find in MyMathLab to input your answers. So if I want the pi symbol, if I go to the Greek symbol, and then right here is the Greek letter pi, I can click on that and so forth, and then I can just click insert equation, and it inserts that text here, and then I could continue on, right? So maybe I say I don't know, part C pi would be an irrational number, right? So you might put DE, irrational numbers. And you can put pi there, and then you can list the others, right? And click submit. So you just click post reply. and then you'll see my reply is posted here, right? So then if you wanted to comment to me, to my post, then you would click reply here underneath this post, right? But if you want to reply to and to the question, right, you're submitting your answer, then you click here to this reply. And then since I'm the author of this post, I have a gear symbol where I can go in and maybe I need to edit my response. Like maybe I found a typo or something that I wanted to change, then I could go back in and add that, right, to be whatever you wanted. And then just hit done. Right. Excuse me. All right, so I'm going to go back into modules and go to the getting started agenda. Just a few things other things I wanted to talk about. So I have some things for you to read over. Excuse me. The course syllabus, the MTC syllabus addendum, right? So this is some other resources for you to read over. Tutoring information. So if you click on that, it'll launch another page here that I made to give you information about tutoring and some ways to get help. So like one resource that I recommend looking at, the MathHub websites. So I click on this, and it will open up a PDF document of MathHub websites that I have compiled for you. So all these are good, but some that you might find particularly useful for this class is probably Khan Academy. That's a pretty popular one. Another one that's becoming really popular that I like are the Patrick Just Math tutorials, right? So like if you just click on one of these links, it will open up that particular website. And then Patrick Just Math tutorials, you can search here, or he basically posts all the videos here, right? So I don't know, maybe you're having trouble factoring. So you can click search, and then here are all the search results, right? So if I want to factor a trigonometric expression, it will post the video here, right? All right. So you can watch that, and Patrick does a really nice job. He has a Master of Science in Mathematics, and so he definitely knows what he's talking about. So that's one reason why I suggest not always using YouTube to receive help in math online. I think there's a lot of other avenues that are more reliable, because anyone can make a YouTube video. So for example, I'm making a video right now for the class, and I'm going to post it on YouTube. So I mean, it's not too difficult to make a video to put on YouTube. So I can make a video on, I don't know, like an English topic, right? So but I don't have the credentials, and I wouldn't feel, I'm good at English, but it's not my area of expertise, so I wouldn't feel comfortable, posting a video trying to help people with an English concept, right? I would rather for my wife Molly do that, who teaches 7th grade English at Grant Middle School, so that would be, I'd leave that up to her. So it's just a word of caution I have is, YouTube might be a great thing, but you just have to be cautious of, who's making this video. Do they know what they're talking about? Is it reliable, right? Because that can get confusing if you're watching YouTube videos that aren't quite teaching you correctly. So the excuse me, the video, the Math Help websites I listed here are all like credible sources. They're well known, so you shouldn't find information on here that's not correct, or if there's something that's not correct, it's probably very minor. So for example, in Khan Academy, I watched a few advanced statistics videos within Khan Academy, and I found some errors, but it happens, and Khan usually does go back in and make edits to the video to fix some mistakes. We're all human, and it was very minor things, but I just noticed this is my my career, my expertise is math and statistics. But Khan Academy has lots and lots of videos, and they're really great for math. Khan has a master's degree in engineering, and he posts videos on other subjects as well. But he started out making math videos. And then here, another thing I would urge you to take advantage of is we have e-tutoring available. So here's a link that you can click on to get e-tutoring. So this doesn't begin until January 11th, but after January 11th, you can log in using your username and password, and it does give you a password here, which is MTC Spring 2017. So after you put that in, it'll prompt you to change your password. But you can go in here and you can receive real-time help with another instructor. So we have an Ohio e-tutoring collaborative. So all the colleges that participate in this collaborative in Ohio, they have to provide one instructor that tutors a certain number of hours. So there will just be posted hours for math or English or anatomy, physiology, or physics, or whatever subject matter you're looking for help in. But the benefit is every single tutor is credentialed in their area, so they have a master's degree or higher in that field. So it's a good person to get some quality help from. And it's really convenient. They do have some evening and weekend hours, especially in a high tutored area like mathematics. So I urge you to take advantage of this. It's completely free of charge. Marion Tech provides this as a service to our students for free. So I would take advantage of that. And there's a lot of great resources, but I'm always here to help as well. In fact, if you click on the discussion tab here on the left, as soon as this loads, I do make some. I did make one Canvas discussion called Questions About Anything. So this is a place where you can go in here and ask questions about content. You can ask, like, hey, when's the midterm? Or, any questions that aren't super personal, you can post here. And then I'm just reminding you, that everyone can see these posts. So if you do have some personal items that you don't want the whole class to view, please email me those to this address rather than post them here. But yeah. Oops. All right. Well, I think that's all. I don't think I have anything else to discuss. So you can, get started in the Getting Started module, and then you'll have to take the Getting Started quiz, which is 10 questions. And then after you pass that quiz, then it'll open up week 1, right? So the Getting Started items and the week 1 items are due on the 15th at 11:59, so that's on Sunday. And if you have any questions about anything, don't be afraid to post in the questions about anything discussion board, or send me an email. Thanks, and hope you enjoy the class.